little pig, let me in, or I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Many people have told the story of the three little pigs, but John Scieszka tells the story a little differently. Who is John Scieszka? John Scieszka was born in Flint, Michigan in 1954. His grandparents had moved to the United States from Poland. Scieszka means path in Polish. John grew up in a big family with 5 brothers. After he finished college, he became a teacher and taught mostly 2nd grade. He loved to share silly and strange stories with his students. Later, Scieszka started writing stories. His first book was The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. What does John Scieszka write about? In this book, the wolf is baking a cake for his grandma. He visits the 3 little pigs because he wants to borrow a cup of sugar. But the wolf sneezes really hard, and he accidentally blows a pig's house down. The book tells the folk tale through the wolf's eyes and shares his side of the story. A point of view is a way of looking or thinking about something. Scieszka tells the story of the 3 little pigs from the wolf's point of view. In The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales, Scieszka retells different tales, but he changes them so they're funnier. Well, in the folktale The Ugly Duckling, the ugly duckling grows up to be a beautiful swan. But in Scieszka's story, the ugly duckling grows up to be a really ugly duck. I love the pictures in this book because they're so funny. An illustrator is a person who creates pictures to go along with words. Lane Smith is an illustrator that John Scieszka has worked with on many books, including The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. The book received a Caldecott honor because of its great illustrations. I like exploring John Scieszka's books because they're fun to look at and read. In some books, the letters and words are really big and really small. Sometimes they're squished on the page or even upside down. Where does John Scieszka get his ideas? Scieszka gets a lot of his ideas from growing up with his 5 brothers. They went on a lot of adventures together, and sometimes they got in trouble. Scieszka was a teacher for a long time, so he gets his ideas from things he taught and explored with his students. In Math Curse, the main character sees math problems everywhere. In the story, the reader is asked different math questions. How many quarts are in a gallon? How many pints are in a gallon? I try to solve the problems myself, but there are a lot of silly math questions too. Does tuna fish plus tuna fish equal Forna fish? John Scieszka also writes a few different series. A series is a set of books about the same character or theme. The 3 main characters of the Time Warp Trio series are a lot like some students he had when he was teaching. The characters travel through time and learn about important events in the past. I love these books because they're funny and I get to learn about history. John Scieszka's books make me want to write and go on adventures through my stories. Where should we go today, Moby? Uh-oh, Moby. I've got a bad feeling about this. the snake hang from their tails. The hare and the jay put on a play. The whale with the apron bakes a cake. I'm writing silly sentences with words that have the long A sound. What sounds does the letter A make? Letters A, E, I, O, U are all vowels. Sometimes the letter Y is a vowel too. You pronounce vowels differently, depending on the word. The short sound for the letter A is A, as in fan, hand, or stamp. The long sound for the letter A is A, as in cave or sail. When do you use the long A sound? When words end in a silent E, the vowel is long. M-A-N spells man. The word man has a short A sound. But if you add a silent E at the end of the word, it becomes main. The word main has a long A sound. The word tap has a short A sound. But if you add a silent E, it becomes tape. The words plane, game, plate, and rake all end with a silent E. So they all use the long A sound. Where does Grandpa go fishing? At the lake. When you see the letters A-I together in a word, they make the long A sound. As in rain. Moby, it's not going to rain inside the classroom. Pail, hair, chain, and paint all use the long A sound. What travels along rails? A train. When you see the letters A-Y together in a word, they make the long A sound. As in hay. May, tray, clay, and spray all use the long A sound. I can think of other words that have the long A sound. Paper, bagel, and radio all have the long A sound. Sometimes when the A is at the beginning of a word, you use the long A sound. As in angel and acorn. What is the largest continent on Earth? Asia. I know, it can be a little confusing, but when you read a word, try pronouncing it in different ways. The alien stands on the table. It doesn't make sense to say the alien stands on the table. But I wasn't kidding, Moby. There's an alien on the table. What? You know her? Her name is April?
What vegetable ties your stomach in knots? String beans. Why did the bike fall asleep? Because it was tired.